what are the top 10 cryptos to buy right now? It's been a long time since I've done this, but I think now is the chance, right? If you want to buy altcoins, we're gearing up to have a pretty explosive run, in my opinion. I want to go through why you may want to buy altcoins or why you may want to buy Bitcoin, right? Which one do you decide on? And then also why there's so much going for crypto right now, like just in general, why altcoins could do extremely well along with Bitcoin, but why the market's going to do extremely well. Then I'll go through my top picks and kind of how I'm viewing this right now, because it has changed a lot since even a year ago, and especially since last cycle. What I'm going to be doing is totally different than what I used to do. So if you don't mind, hit subscribe so you can see future videos just like this. Also, if you want to join my Telegram group, I give them access to videos like this early. This is going up early to the Telegram group. It's completely free. I just want to create a group somewhere else that's on YouTube in case I get kicked off, because they do like to kick off crypto influencers randomly. Also, if you want to trade crypto, there's a link to BY DeFi. They have deposit bonuses going on right now. They also have this Bitcoin giveaway. So basically you trade and you can earn up to $10,000 worth of Bitcoin. WEEX also just announced that they have this new mystery box airdrop. So for new users, just depositing some on the platform, and there are terms and conditions, you can get up to like part of the $60,000 prize pool. So check that out underneath the video, and let's get started. Bitcoin is doing extremely well. Bitcoin's up near $119,000. It's right at all-time highs. I mean, especially if you take out, like, we were higher for a few hours a few days ago, but with, you go back a week even, and we are at new all-time highs. Bitcoin looks so bullish. Ethereum looks really bullish. It's near $3,300 and it's just spiking up. Like, it's actually outperforming Bitcoin for the first time in a while. And I think that's where some people think, well, it's too late to get into alts because now they're starting to pump. Not really. Bitcoin dominance, yeah, it's coming down a little bit, but this is just like a normal wick down. You zoom out and we see these wicks all the time, and then we continue to go higher. So let me be clear. I am very heavy Bitcoin right now. I'm still very heavy, partly because of my own goals and situation. They're different than yours, I'm sure, because we're all different people with different incomes, different net worths, that kind of stuff. But while I am very heavy on Bitcoin right now, I also understand that Bitcoin dominance has been on a tear for a long time. And usually when the Fed starts lowering rates, that's when we start to see altcoins do really well. And with so much going for crypto, I would not be surprised to see people start to go a little bit more risk on. What's going for crypto? Well, just look at Twitter. $2 billion printed at the Tether Treasury within the last hour. $2 billion. So that means money's coming into crypto to most likely buy crypto. We have spot ETF odds spiking for a lot of altcoins: Litecoin, Solana, XRP, Dogecoin, Cardano, Polkadot, HBAR, Avalanche. These are all over 75% chance of likelihood according to Bloomberg. We already have some Bitcoin baskets where you can get like a hold of a handful of different cryptos, but I don't think they're spot yet. But that's bound to happen. We already got a Solana staking ETF. It's not a spot ETF, but imagine you start getting access to stake your crypto through ETFs. You can do this in retirement accounts. TradFi can start buying. Like, that's going to be extremely bullish for altcoins. We see so much crypto already being bought up. Like, you can see the demand. BlackRock is buying 10 to 15,000 Bitcoin a week right now. They're also buying hundreds of millions of dollars of Ethereum almost every day. Circle, which is the most recent crypto IPO, is up 8x since it launched. It's trading at 100x EBITDA. Like, that is crazy. And that just shows you that TradFi wants access to the crypto world, and they don't have many vehicles to do it so far. Like, you can buy spot Bitcoin ETFs, spot Ethereum ETFs, Circle, Coinbase, and then some of these Bitcoin treasury companies, which are, some of them are trading at insane multiples. We've seen that with Metaplanet. They're a Bitcoin treasury company, and they're trading at 5 to 10 times what their Bitcoin's worth. So the traditional world wants outsized returns. They want access to crypto, but there aren't many ways that they can buy yet. And depending on what financial institution you're looking at, they have certain compliance that they have to pass. And that might not allow them to go buy spot crypto, which is just like Coinbase, right? You go on Coinbase, you put some money on there, you buy ADA, Cardano, and then you withdraw it. Some of them can't do that. They have to buy ETFs, and some of them can't buy anything but a spot ETF, which is an ETF that literally goes and buys Cardano when you deposit money to buy Cardano or when you buy the shares, right? So they can't go buy anything besides the Bitcoin ETFs and Ethereum ETFs because those are spot approved by the SEC. We also have the Fed most likely cutting rates this year. The market is pricing in 2 rate cuts as the highest likelihood by the end of the year, and then continuing rate cuts throughout the next year. Bitcoin dominance is, it was just at all-time highs. Now it's come down just 2%, and people are getting very excited. Bitcoin dominance coming down 2% when Bitcoin's still like right near all-time highs. It's exciting, but it's not, it's not a big move. We've seen bigger moves where we went from 62% all the way down to 54%. That was a big altcoin rally. That was right when we figured out Trump was going to be the next president. And we saw like XRP go up 6x and Ethereum go up significantly. Cardano was making huge moves. And then we just went back to higher dominance after that. But this was like a pretty big rally. If we did the same thing now, we would see altcoins hit all-time highs. So what am I doing? Well, let me be clear. In previous cycles, I did buy small altcoins. I have a few small altcoins now, but I don't like buying them quite as much as I used to. And they're more, I'd say they're small positions. They're strategic for one reason or another. But what I'm really focusing on is Bitcoin. And then outside of that, it's the large caps. I'm not trying to go dumpster diving to find the, a $1 million market cap that's going to go up to 100 million because that rarely happens, and usually you just lose money. You lose all your money, right? And even if you make some money, then it's like, okay, should I sell? Should I buy more? And then you end up not doing anything, or the transaction fees are too high, and then you don't make anything. And it takes a lot of time. So what I've been doing instead is buying some of the top altcoins and trading them. So for example, I have trades open on XRP, on Bitcoin, let me go over here. You can see on CoinM. I have a trade on Solana as well. On other exchanges, I have even more trades: Sui, Ethereum, Solana, XRP. And I like doing this because, while this page loads for 30 seconds, because it doesn't require a lot more effort, a lot more time. Like I already know where Bitcoin's at. I know where Ethereum's at. I know where Solana, Sui, and XRP, the price is at. So I don't have to like constantly check, wondering if I have to sell now or, what I should be doing. I just sit and wait. I use low leverage, but this actually provides really good returns. So for example, I opened up this XRP trade at $1.50 or $1.45. I'd be up about 2x, but instead I use 6x leverage. So I'm up over 600%. That's insane. Like that is such a good return, and you're not going to get that with smaller coins unless you pick the perfect one at the perfect time. Typically what happens is you invest in some rug pull and then the team leaves and then you're just done. Like you lose all your money. I would rather invest in something that I understand and not have to spend so much time on it. Also, these cryptos are going to have money flowing from TradFi this cycle, right? We're already seeing it. There's more liquidity to sell them to. Let's say you buy a big bag of something worth $1 million or $100,000. You have a really hard time selling it, like without dumping the price or causing a scare. It's also, like I said, just a lot easier to get a hold of. You don't have to like look at specific wallets and exchanges and transfer money around a lot. Like you can do this all on the exchanges underneath the video. You can just trade the biggest cryptos. So that is kind of how I'm getting access to more exposure in the crypto market without taking a bunch of additional risk and spending a lot of additional time. But what am I bullish on, right? Let's go through the list. Obviously, I'm bullish on Bitcoin, but that's not an altcoin. Obviously, though, Bitcoin is taking in like all the flows right now, almost all the flows. 95% of the flows go into Bitcoin. Then we have like 5% going into Ethereum. I'm talking about like traditional finance. But Bitcoin obviously is the biggest one. There are some institutions that just won't invest in anything else because they don't feel strongly about it or because the market cap is too small. They want to invest in a commodity that's in the trillions of dollars. So Bitcoin is going to continue getting the heaviest flow. So Bitcoin, I think, weights down most portfolios and probably should. From there, you got to look at Ethereum. I know it's been lagging this cycle, but it's starting to do really well. It's actually outperforming Bitcoin over the last couple weeks. It's broken through a couple key resistances against Bitcoin, the ETH Bitcoin chart. You can see over the last month, it's up 24%. Over the last 7 days, it's up about the same. So it's actually starting to get some excitement back into it, which is something that it needs. I don't think a lot of retail investors really want to plow money into Ethereum unless it's moving, because they'd rather buy something like Sui or Solana, something that they think can do better, or they'd buy Bitcoin, right? But we're starting to see a lot of flows come into the Ethereum ETFs, which is, I think, moving up the price. And then we're seeing some excitement. There are traders that jump in and that kind of thing. So we're definitely seeing some excitement there. And I think you have to pay attention to Ethereum, right? It's large enough for some funds to buy, and it's the only other access to spot crypto besides Bitcoin. Also, we know the US is trying to pass stablecoin legislation. A lot of stablecoins run on Ethereum. Ethereum still has the biggest ecosystem. So yeah, you have to look at Ethereum. Like, is one of your biggest altcoin holdings, I think, unless you just want to go way more risk on. Next down the list, XRP, right? Some people hate XRP. Some people like XRP. I kind of characterize altcoins as just trying to make me more money, right? I'm not investing in anything outside of Bitcoin for the long term. I want to sell a lot of my altcoin bags. That's the other thing that I like about leverage trading, is you feel much better about selling your positions because it's on leverage. It's not a spot bag that you have to like go log into a hard wallet and then withdraw and then sell. No, you just like log into your account, sell, close the position. So I know a lot of people hate XRP. There are a lot of people that love XRP though, and that kind of makes the community even stronger, I think. Like, XRP people are kind of crazy. Like, they love XRP. They feel very strongly about XRP and will speak out for XRP. They also have a lot of banking partners. They have a strong community, as I said. It's cheap and fast. I actually just looked at the average transaction fee. They did 700,000 transactions over the last 24 hours at the time of this recording, which is about half that of Ethereum, but they were 1,000 times cheaper than Ethereum. It's a fraction of a penny. Also, our LUSD is growing, which is great. That's their stable coin. And Brad Garlinghouse has very strong ties with government and has a lot of power, right? He's going and speaking on legislation pretty regularly. I don't include BNB on the list, but BNB is backstopped by Binance. Like, they buy back tokens all the time if the price falls. So I don't think it'll be super explosive. No one really talks about it at all. It's near $100 billion market cap too. But I don't think you're going to lose a lot of money on BNB if you bought it now and held it to the top of the bull run. You probably just won't get really explosive gains. Solana, I think you have to look at too. It's 1/4 the size of Ethereum, and it performs more transactions. It's faster. It's cheaper. It's obviously going to be the big winner if meme coins come back, because people don't want to trade meme coins on Ethereum. I've actually traded some Ethereum coins in the past. This is one mistake that I used to make. I used to like buy and sell actually a decent amount on Ethereum. And at one point I had like $600 of some meme coin, and I didn't want to sell it, even though it had gone up like a decent amount, because the transaction fee was like $400. It's just crazy. And then it collapsed to zero. So I didn't make anything on it. Should have just bit the bullet. But yeah, that's the crappy thing about Ethereum, and the great thing about Solana. You can put in, 0.1 Solana and it will last you the entire bull run. You'll be completely fine. And, while it's maybe not quite as secure or decentralized as Ethereum, maybe it is as decentralized, but it's not quite as secure. The fact is, you're going to use it for different things than Ethereum. So I still think Solana will do really well this bull run. From there, you kind of go down the line. Cardano, I think, will do well. I don't really hold Cardano. I have 1 or 2 Cardano trades, but they have a huge following as well. It's very quick. It's cheap. They're very methodical as a company. And Charles Hoskinson is kind of like a very important figurehead in the crypto community. So again, I think it will probably do fairly well this bull run too. The tech is pretty good. Sui, one of the biggest winners from this bull run. It's one of the newer cryptos. It's only 25% off of its high, which not many other cryptos are that close. It's very explosive. I mean, just look at it, right? Over the last 7 days, it's up 37%. it has some of the biggest swings in crypto. So I think it's definitely gaining some momentum, could hit all-time highs fairly soon. And I definitely have some more SUI trades. Again, fast, cheap, new. And the market cap is much smaller, so it's easier to move, right? $14 billion market cap compared to Solana at 90. Then you can go down, look at AVAX, right? AVAX is kind of like a smaller Solana, in my opinion, 1/10 the size of Solana, but fast, cheap, etc. A lot of games are built on it. Chainlink, probably some of the best, most used tech in crypto. You need it for crypto to gain adoption, but it's been a lagger. Like no one really seems to buy Chainlink. You can see though, it has hit a higher high and a higher low since 2023 into 2024 and 2025. And even recently, right, the low was $12.35 back in April of 2025 compared to $10.40 in 2024. So higher lows, higher highs is bullish, sitting around an $11 billion market cap. So again, not a huge crypto or not a crypto that I think is going to do like a 10x, but say it goes up, 200%. It's pretty well thought of. And if you use a little bit of leverage, I think you could get good returns. Pepe, one of the biggest memes out there, obviously, outside of Dogecoin and Shiba. But Pepe is the newer meme, and I think a lot of people like the idea of Pepe. It's, I think, performed a lot better than Dogecoin recently, and Shiba Inu too. Meme coins seem to always rear their head again during bull markets. People want to take risks. People think it's funny to have $500,000 in a meme coin. And yeah, it's 52% off of its high, so hitting new all-time highs is a double up. I still think memes will probably do well. Of course, they are risky, and again, you're just getting into that, like, I'm just speculating at that point. If you buy something like that or trade something like that, it's really just based on jokes, the craziness of crypto. You go down the line, BitTensor is one that you should look at too. 43% off of its high. Obviously, one of the largest plays on AI, which AI has just been blowing up outside of crypto. I think crypto AI will probably do really well at some point as well. And yeah, you can stick to that basically. Again, I talk about leverage trading because I think it's a good way of getting extra exposure to some of these and, taking a little bit more risk. I'd rather take more risk in a 2 or 3x Ethereum trade than go down to, I don't know, like freaking Aerodome Finance or Radium or Pith or Zcash. I'd rather use low leverage and ride out the bull run that way. But of course, you can make your own decision. These are not like the smallest, craziest altcoins, but I think you'll do well buying these. And again, I am mostly Bitcoin. Part of that is just, I think it's a lot less risky, and I think it's a winning lottery ticket. And I can also hold it. I don't have to pay taxes because I believe in Bitcoin long term. While some of these cryptos, right, they won't be around 10 years from now. So I treat them more as a way to get more money or get more access to Bitcoin or buy more Bitcoin eventually, something like that. If you do want an idea of how I leverage trade, I actually made 2 videos recently going over how to leverage trade, how I'm approaching it. I'll put those on the end screen. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what I left off this list. If you want to check out BYDeFi, BTCC, or WEEX, they all have different great bonuses going on right now. Check them out underneath. See you in the next one. Bye.